So when it comes to Velma, the one person who gets the most heat for Velma is by far the person who voiced Velma, which in this case is Mindy Kaling. You guys are very familiar with Mindy Kaling, I'm sure by at this point by now, and she gets a lot of flack for it. And the reason why is because Mindy Kaling is very well known for producing TV shows, playing characters, creating characters that are essentially in her image. They're always literally in her image, whether in personality or in looks or both. It could be either or. And in this case, Velma is literally both. And there is a good article from BuzzFeed News, ironically, which goes into Mindy Kaling's history of her characters and how she is literally very racist to her own people. She seemingly hates her own people while also being completely obsessed with white dudes. I don't know what it is about Mindy Kaling, but she's completely obsessed with white dudes. Even though she trashes them online and she trashes them in her TV shows, she's still very obsessed with them. And it's usually a trope that people have caught on to, and it's weird. A lot of people questioning, like, what is her obsession with it? So we're gonna get to the article, guys. Like I said, this one comes from some BuzzFeedNews.com, and it says the Mindy Kaling backlash has lost all nuance. Recent criticism of the comedian's artistic laziness has fans re-examining her whole career. It makes this a little bigger so you guys can read along with me. So it says, when Velma, HBO's animated series about Scooby-Doo's Velma Dinkley, premiered last week, few could have predicted the backlash it would have generated against its star Mindy Kaling, who voices the title character and serves as an executive producer. The series, long marketed as a race-swapped adult version of the Scooby-Doo cartoons, was expected to offend right-wing vloggers, irritated that Hollywood's wokeness has made all these classic white characters into characters of color, but it also went the extra mile by pissing off progressive fans. And that's the thing. Even though I know what BuzzFeed is doing with that comment, okay, I get it, it's BuzzFeed, right? We expect BuzzFeed to do that. But at the end of the day, the funny thing is, Mindy Kaling did in fact actually piss off both sides of the spectrum. This side, like two sides hasn't been this united in a very long time. The right wing and the left wing and everybody in between is completely united against Velma and how much they hate the show and how much they hate the way Mindy Kaling portrays Velma. Nobody likes it. Okay, we've talked about it all the time. It's the third or second worst rated show, or maybe the top worst rated show. I'm not really sure at this point anymore on IMDb. It's on Rotten Tomatoes at a 7%. It's probably even lower by now. I mean, the show is getting completely destroyed in every way, and it deserves it because she just made a terrible show. And when BuzzFeed mentions, oh, you know, right-wingers were going to get upset over the race swapping of Velma, they do that usually as a deflection. But the fact of the matter is, even they can't deny how terrible this show is. And it goes to show just how bad it is. It says the complaints were varied. Some were about how HBO ruined a perfectly good children's show by trying to make it edgy. Others were about how unsubtle and unfunny the show's point of view is. In particular, Kaling's Velma makes a joke about how she spits truth without a filter, like every comedian before Me Too, which has made the rounds on the internet as further evidence of Kaling's careless conservatism. She also recently received criticism for saying The Office couldn't succeed today due to cancel culture. As with this example, most of the criticism that started with the show expanded rapidly outward until the crux of the anger landed squarely on Kaling's career. Now, I remember when she made those stupid comments. The first one she made in the show itself, the second one she made in a tweet, and she got roasted for it, rightfully so. Like, she deserves to get roasted for it because it's a stupid comment to make. It says Velma has opened up a discourse about Kaling's long career of writing and performing a specific kind of Indian woman, and this is the problem that a lot of people have with this, so let's get into it. It says dorky, self-absorbed, insecure, obsessed with attaining the romantic validation of a caustic white guys, and eager to fling herself, her family, her culture, and other cultures under the bus just to get it. From Mindy Lahiri on the Mindy Project to Devi, I can't say that last name, Vishwakumar of Never Have I Ever to Bella Malhotra of The Sex Lives of College Girls to Velma, Kaling's Indian protagonists tend to follow a similar pattern. Mindy, Devi, and Bella all fall for nerdy white dudes who started out as their rivals. Danny, a fellow doctor in Mindy's residency, Ben, Devi's high-achieving high school classmate, and Eric, the leader of the comedy group Bella wants to join. Velma, who makes fawning eyes at Fred Jones, the entitled heir to his father's fortune, is set up to do the same. And that's why if you guys saw my last review of episode 4, towards the end of that episode, they had Velma literally reject Fred after Fred finally fell for Velma after reading a feminism book. I mean, it literally is the most stupid thing ever, but I guess that's her way of trying to go against the tropes. But she'll probably end up liking Fred anyway. But they're trying trying to really push her onto Daphne because they want to push the whole LGBTQ thing. It says an initial tongue-in-cheek defense of Kaling's obsession with a specific type of white man offered this explanation. You have to remember, she spent formative years at Dartmouth over 20 years ago. That's all there was. New England changes people. The tweet, now viewed at close to 9 million times, gets at one element of the controversy over Kaling's work. Kaling's characters have always been caricatures of herself. This was clearly true of Mindy on the Mindy Project, where Kaling played someone with her own name, but Bella, as inspiring comedian and Seth Meyers fan who attends a liberal arts college in New England, is no less obvious a parody of Kaling. The collapse between Kaling's on-screen personas and actual personhood has fueled the fire of online anger. As the critiques of Kaling's characters escalate, so too does the demand for Kaling's accountability. And this is what I'm saying before, and that's why I titled this video the way I did, because she is literally just playing versions of herself. She's the type of actress that likes to insert herself into every form of entertainment that she's in. If she has the creative means to do so, she will do it. Why that is, I'm not sure, but literally, and other people have seen it too, literally every character she has played recently, the last 3, 4, 5 characters she has played have all just been forms of herself. All have just been ideologies of her own. She literally inserts herself. And Velma is probably the ultimate iteration of that because the character looks like her, obviously speaks like her because it is her, and thinks like her. I guarantee you most of the lines of Velma was probably written by her herself. Like, she wrote her own lines. I probably guarantee you that. Just based off how bad the lines are and how obvious they came from her, because the obsession with white men are in there nonstop. It says more damning that her character's obsession with white guys, see what I'm saying, is their casually racist self-hatred. In one of Bella's first lines of The Sex Lives of College Girls, she calls herself an Indian loser. In the opening scene of Never Have I Ever, Devi prays for her arm hair to thin out, saying, I know it's an Indian thing, but my forearms look like frigging floor of a barbershop. Velma gets the same treatment. 5 minutes into the pilot show, 2 cops make fun of her weight and her hairy gorilla arm. It's sad to see these young protagonists introduced to the audience with some self-loathing jokes. It's like the writers are anticipating viewers' inherent disgust with young Indian women and trying to beat them to the punchline. It's also boring to see the same racist stereotypes and beauty standards trotted out again and again. Plus, it's baffling to see Kaling, one of the most successful Indian women in Hollywood, undermine her own creation. Having gotten far enough in her career to create her own TV show centering young Indian girls, why mock them? And that's true. She obviously hates herself. And like I said, it might be a combination of hatred towards her own people or herself and her obsession with white people. She might be one of those people who secretly wants to be white really, really bad. She might just be one of those people. I would probably guarantee that's most likely the case. I believe she's even dating a white man, if I'm not mistaken. So she is clearly obsessed with white people to the point where she probably doesn't even like her own people, and she constantly makes fun of them. She constantly tries to do the typical Indian tropes that everybody's tired about, and it's really starting to get on people's nerves. Whether you're on the right side or the left side, nobody likes this show. Many people are starting to dislike Mindy Kaling, and honestly, she brings it on herself, and she's probably loving it because let's be real, she's a hardcore narcissist, like basically everybody in Hollywood. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's down for all of this. But still, at the end of the day, it's stupid. You need to stop it already. Stop inserting yourselves into the entertainment that you're doing and start actually trying to be an actor or actress and play something different other than yourself. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.